Oh, sorry, don't got one for you. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Anyway, here's here's the M77 Paladin, and this is where I'm at so far. And as you can see, I've cut out the detail pieces, both for both the left and right sides for the upper portion of the pistol. Now, what I did was I took my main template and I slapped it on my printer. My printer has a copier function, and what I did was I just cut out the raised detail areas up here. Now you will notice I left, you know, this area right here doesn't have any details, but it doesn't have a raised detail. But again, you know, just keep an eye on what you're doing. So anyway, I took some inspiration from Evil Ted Smith and tried a couple of his techniques. And anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm using some of his techniques on a relatively simple project like this pistol before I give making a helmet a stab. So with that, here's what I did. I took the templates that I cut out, and I just laid them on the foam, and then I took a couple of pins, tacked them to the foam. You know, little sewing pins is all. Tacked them to the foam, traced the outline of this with a Sharpie, and then one last thing I did is take a pencil, and you can do this with a ballpoint pen as well, or even a little hole punch or something like that. Anyway, where I have these detail lines that I need to cut, on the end of each one, I poked through with the pencil, and that left me a little divot, if you will, in the foam, and then that way I could go outside and just trace it from start point to end point. And then, of course, I repeated it for the opposite side. So you want to use the side with the lines first. So so then anyway, when I went ahead and I cut it out with the X-Acto knife. But again, thinking about it, and I'm kicking myself for not thinking this earlier. This is just a sharpening steel, and I pulled this out of my knife block, kitchen knife block, and then all I did was I stropped the X-Acto blade on it a couple of times. It gave me super smooth, super clean cuts. Went through a lot easier than it normally would have. So you know what? Every time you're gonna make some cuts, just give your knife a quick swipe with that. So anyway, where I'm standing right now is like I said, I've got these upper pieces done, and the plan is to very, very lightly bevel the edges on all these joints. And by beveling, all that means is to just very easily smooth over these sharp corners right here. In addition, I'm going to take my Dremel tool, and all of the exposed edges I'm going to go back through, and I'm going to sand these or polish these up with the Dremel tool just to get rid of those knife marks. And then, of course, the main thing I have to do before I can glue any of these pieces onto this piece, I need to go back with the power sander and just even everything up, make sure I've got nice smooth joints, smooth surfaces to work with. So and then of course places like this right here, I'm going to hit that with the Dremel to smooth that out. Now down in here, all I did was took a wood rasp, just this thing right here, and I used the finer side of it to just smooth up the joints, and then I'm going to take a little bit of finer sandpaper and go back through, like an emery board or something like that. That would probably work really, really well. Somebody uses on their fingernails, and then go in there and clean up the last little debris that you see in there. So it's going to take a bit of work to sand this down and get it where I want it. But so far, doing pretty good. So. Anyway, I guess that's about it for now. Just a short update. But it didn't take very long to do these pieces. The main part was just making sure I was cutting them out, and the main problem was making sure I was cutting out sharply and making them look good. And of course, the work to set up the Dremel lines. Now, one thing I do need to point out is that if you look on this. Main template here, I've got this line right here, and what that is going to be is roughly right here. That's going to be a larger detail line, and I'm going to use a larger Dremel bit to do that. It's going to be shallow, but wider. It's about, I think, about a 1/4 inch wide. So with that, I guess it's done. And I'm going to go ahead and upload this while I'm starting to cook dinner. So you all have a good night. Hope you enjoyed your weekend, and catch you later. Bye.